Hello, my name is Muhammad RAMSAN bin RAMLEE. I am a leader for our group. So today we will present about the retirement planning that we do for subject personal finance. So first of all, I will talk about our group member. First of all, the group member is me as a leader, Muhammad RAMSAN bin RAMLEE. The second member is Muhammad IZHAR bin MAHMUD. The third member is Muhammad AQIEL bin ROSLEY. The fourth member is JOANNA CELINE DEIVA, and the last one is SITI ARNE BINTI NASIR. And next we move to the next we will move to the next slide. Thank you.
The situation we have here includes a middle-aged couple, Aaron and Nancy, who are both 53 years old and have been married for more than 30 years. They have now decided that they would like to plan for their retirement. Aaron have been a manager for a small enterprise logistic company, while Nancy, his wife, is a secondary teacher. Aaron receives a monthly salary of 7,000 ringgit and Nancy receives a monthly salary of 5,000 ringgit. Due to their high salary, they have to pay 1% of their annual salary for income tax. They both have 4 married children and each child gives them 500 ringgit per month. They always try to save as much as 1,000 ringgit in their separate bank accounts, which they have been doing since they were 30 years old. However, 5 years ago, they took out 30,000 ringgit to invest in Amanah Saham National Berhad, which gives them a 5% of return every year. They have also hired a weekly maid and pays her 250 ringgit weekly. Aaron and Nancy have been living in Sabah for a very long time, and they have been living in their home, which is worth 350,000 ringgit. They still have another 2 years of house loan repayment, which they pay 2,000 ringgit monthly. Both Aaron and Nancy have their own car, which loans have been paid off. In addition to that, Aaron and Nancy make their regular payments using their credit card. Their monthly expenses sums up to approximately 2,000 ringgit every month, which they pay 5% of their monthly expenses at the end of the month. The interest that they pay on the card is approximately 12%. The situation we have here includes a middle-aged couple, Aaron and Nancy, who are both 53 years old and have been married for more than. So the first step is to evaluate their financial health. And to do that, we have to come up with a joint income statement as we've done here. We can clearly see from this financial statement that Aaron and Nancy have a stable financial health. Their expenses takes up approximately only 36% of their annual income. Next, we have to discover what is Aaron and Nancy's financial goal. Since they have decided to plan for their retirement, so therefore, their financial goal here is a retirement plan. And as part of the retirement planning, we have to discover the income sources, estimate the costs, come up with a plan to manage the assets and risk, as well as to curate and implement a saving plan. In addition to that, future cash flow should be calculated to estimate a realistic retirement income goal. For starters, we would advise Aaron and Nancy to put aside money that would sum up to 80% of their annual income. This is because theoretically, 80% of one's annual income will sufficiently support someone after retirement. Of course, it's most definitely encouraged to put aside more money, however, 80% should be the very minimum. So if Aaron and Nancy were to implement this 80% rule, they would have to put aside a total of 135,600 ringgit for their retirement life. If they were to retire at the age of 65, then they would have to save annually 11,300 ringgit, Next, we have to discover what is Aaron and Nancy's financial goal. Since they have decided to
Next, we move to financial plan. There are 3 time periods that we can take when implementing our financial planning, which is now within a year or short-term period and more than a year or long-term period. For now, we can try to plan to access our financial situation, develop our financial goal, and select appropriate plan of action. For short-term financial plan, which is within a year, we can plan to create and implement a budget, for example, like pay off all our credit card debt. Next, we can establish a regular saving program, for example, like invest in financial instrument, or we also can plan to use only rental housing to save our money for home purchase. And for long-term financial plan, we we can invest in financial instruments for long-term growth, pay off all consumer debt, and select appropriate tax. For example of situation, Aaron and Nancy knows their total income come from their salary. They plan to save their money to make sure that when they are retired, they still have a saving. They plan to buy a house, and in the future, they do not need to use their money to pay, meaning that when they are retired, they don't have any additional expenses for paying a house. On the other hand, they also invest in Amanah Saham Nasional Berhad, and it is good decision for their future. And not forget to mention that they also apply for medical insurance to make sure when something happen to them in the future, they do not need to use their fund and never bother their saving. Next, we move to the tax management. Tax management is an art of managing financial concern while complying to tax rules in order to avoid paying interest and fines. Tax management is nothing to do with tax planning. It is simply concerned with an operational element of tax payment, ensuring that a person makes regular tax payment without running out of money and complies with all of the terms of the law while managing his or her taxes. In this situation, total income tax Aaron and Nancy is only 1,440 per year, as we can see in the calculation below. If calculated based on the year, it is considered low. This will not have a major impact on their financial situation.
Money management. As you can see, for the money management, it usually includes budgeting, spending, saving, and investing. Therefore, it is show how you handle your finances, from budgeting to investing to saving and setting goals. Therefore, in money management also telling you a process of tracking and planning an individual of group of the use of the capital. Cash flow statement. Cash flow statement actually one of the tools in money management. So in this slide, we're talking about cash inflow and cash outflow of ARNE family. As you can see, ARNE family have a total income of 12,000 ringgit. So for each month and every month, the children will transfer a total of 2,000 to them and will bring a cash inflow of 4 ARNE and family. That will make a total of 14,000 ringgit for the month. Annually, there will be a return of the investment from the ASNB, which is 1,500 ringgit. Therefore, the total inflow is 169,500 ringgit every year. And every month, there's a lot of transactions that incur where they need to use their money for their expenses, such as saving, income tax, med salary, house loan, credit card payment, medical insurance, as well as the utility bills. And that was the cash outflow of the ARNE family. Therefore, as you can see in the slide from the table, the total outflow for the month they have 9,020 ringgit, while for annually they have 108,240 ringgit. So by subtracting the total inflow with the total outflow, we will get the net cash surplus. So total inflow subtract with the total outflow, we will get 4,980 ringgit for the month, while for the year we will have 61,260 ringgit. That was the net cash surplus for annually. Is credit management. Credits mean borrowing a cash with agreement to pay later with an interest. It is commonly used to cover both and large and small expenses when you are short of money. So credit management also, among other credit-related functions, it is a process of granting credit. It is setting the terms on which it is granted, recovering this credit when it is due, and ensuring compliance with the company credit policy. Therefore, credit management is involving decision about how much credit to obtain to support your spending and which resources of credit is to use. card loan. In this slide, we're talking about how Aaron and Nancy make their payment, which is pay their loan itself. So from the discussion before, you can get that the minimum payment that Aaron and Nancy need to pay is 5% of 2,000 ringgit, and their interest rate is 12% APR. So in this interest rate, we will convert them to monthly rate, which means 12% divided with 12 loan, which is 1% per month. So how much they are paying in the loan interest start? 2,000 ringgit times with 1%, we will get 20 ringgit. So when Aaron and Nancy make a payment, the amount they pay is not always reducing the loan balance. Any payment they make will go toward reducing the interest rate and other loan fee from the credit card company. And the remainder of the payment goes into debt known as principal as a part of the loan balance. And by subtracting the payment and the loan interest itself, that is the amount of the debt, which is the principal that Aaron and Nancy need to pay for the man. So as you can see from the table in this slide, the payment for the first month is that 100 ringgit, and the interest that was charged is 20 ringgit. So subtracting down, we will get 80 ringgit, and that is the amount of the principal that will bring down the loan balance to 1,920 ringgit for the next month. So from that, we are able to know that Aaron and Nancy will be able to pay down their loan balance more quickly if they pay more than the minimum payment. The amount that goes into interest this month is determined, and at this stage, they can do nothing about it. However, by paying more than the minimum, they can speed off their loan reduction and pay less interest for the next month.
Next, let's talk about the retirement planning. It's the process determining income goals and strategic investment decisions in order to meet specific saving goals before retiring. The key measures: calculating expenses, identifying passive and active income sources, developing saving plans, and managing assets. Even though retirement planning is a lifelong process, individuals can start saving for retirement at any stage in their lives. However, it is often most effective when starting at a young age when compounding interest is perceived. So what is estate planning? It involves setting up a plan that establishes who will eventually receive your assets. It contains 5 components, which is the first one, will. In this situation, Aaron and Nancy decide to give their property to their children, where each will get 10,000 ringgit. Their vehicle will be given to the youngest child, and their house will be given to the first child. Aaron and Nancy trust their eldest son to carry out the division of Aaron and Nancy's property according to their wishes. Aaron and Nancy also decided that 15% of their property would be donated to an orphanage. So the second one is healthcare power of attorney. In this situation, this legal instrument allows Aaron and Nancy to make healthcare decisions for them, where they pay 800 ringgit for health insurance. The third one is financial power of attorney. Aaron and Nancy have appointed a lawyer for the purpose of paying bills, settling debts, selling property, or whatever else need to be done if Aaron and Nancy become incapacitated and unable to do so. The fourth one is disposition of personal property. In this situation, Aaron and Nancy have decided that their maid will get some of Aaron and Nancy's furniture as a sign of appreciation for their maid. And the last one is disposition of final remains. Aaron and Nancy wish to be buried next to each other. They have instructed a lawyer to make sure their son comes on the day of the funeral. They also want that their graves are always clean.
Hello, my name is Mohamad RAMSAN bin RAMLEE. My number metric is BB32803. So I will talk about the assets risk. First of all, the risk that maybe Aaron and Nancy will faces is the house being damaged. This is mean if the house been damaged, they won't get anything from the house. Such as example, the house get a damage from a natural disaster such as a tornado, a tsunami, earthquake, or disasters such as fire, the house been fire or get burned. So when this happen, they won't get any compensation for the losses that they face, such as the cash on hand that they have, the grant, the assets like a car or anything in the house that maybe can help them to get benefits if they sell them. So that is the first risk. Meanwhile, the second risk is the life insurance. Like we says before, this partner, which is Aaron and Nancy, have a medical insurance, but they didn't have a life insurance. When they didn't have a life insurance, if you know, the medical insurance just they have a maximum for the compensation that we will get. Meanwhile, the life insurance it have a high amount of money, or more than the medical insurance compensation. So as example, if one of them have a serious injuries and the medical insurance won't help them in the full recovery fees, the life insurance is a better way to help them in getting a good recovery, or we can say is to able to pay a fees for recovery. The next thing we talk about is how to manage the risk. First of all, they need to buy or purchase the house insurance, which is the house insurance will help them to prevent big losses if anything happen to their house. And the second one is they need to purchase life insurance. As we know, if they have a life insurance, it will help them in faces a situation where they want to get a big amount of money in a short time. Next, we move to the time value of money. Aaron and Nancy have an ASNB saving which is from 5 years ago, and which is from their age 48, and now they are 53 years old. If they cash out of the money when the retirement, which is 12 years from now, how much the money? So here is my calculation. The ASNB money that they have for right now is future value plus present value, which is 1 plus 1 over n and n times t. So the money that they have for the 5 years is 30,000 ringgit times 1 plus 5% over 1, and then 1 multiple 5, and then the amount that we get is RM 38,288.45 cents. That is the money for SNB that they have for right now. Meanwhile, the SNB money they get when their retirement is 38,288.45 times 1 plus 5% over 2 over 1, and then 1 times 12, which means 12 is the future years that they will retire. So the amount of money that they will get is RM 68,760 and 56 cents. Next, the question for if the money that they have in the retirement minimum is 135,000 from the money asset from both of them, and add the SNB money, which is 68,760 and 56 cents from the SNB. How much their money and what is the future value of the money. So the money that their target is 135,600 plus the money from ASNB, which is 68,760.56 cents. That will equal to the money RM204 RM204,360.46 cents. Meanwhile, the present value is 204,360.56 cents over 1 plus 1% over 1, and then 1 times 12. We will get RM 178,442. So that's all the money that ARNE and NASIR will get when they are retirement. That's all from me. Thank you.